Here we go, onward and upward, Altra TORIN 4.5 Plush. Full review, second video publishing today. In fact, the Hoka Clifton 7 just published about 15-20 minutes ago. All right, so if you haven't seen the Hoka Clifton 7 full review, it just published this morning. But we're doing a lot of running. We're testing a lot of shoes, and yes, it's always, well, it is the best of signs for a shoe if it gets to 50 miles. And sure enough, the Altra TORIN 4.5 Plush and the Hoka Clifton 7 both made it to 50 miles. So that means I love the shoes. Okay, here we go. Let's dive in. And yes, is it the best easy day shoe of 2020? That is the question. That is thus far. All right, here we go. Zero drop in the Altra TORIN 4.5 Plush. Of course, we're looking at 21 millimeters in the heel, 21 in the forefoot. We're looking at 7.5 ounces in women's size 8. That's 212 grams, or 8.9 ounces in men's size 9. 252 grams. And let's just reminisce real quick and figure out what is it in my size. We're looking at 8.5 ounces. Not too shabby, not the best, but not too shabby. If it lost a half an ounce, that would be amazing, Altra. But in my size, 8.5 isn't too bad. Anything, you definitely want to keep it under 9 ounces for a daily trainer. That's 241 grams. And onto that upper of the TORIN 4.5 Plush, a very classic knit upper, not very breathable. That's too bad. I wish it was, I don't know, we'll see. Like, I almost wish they would swap it out for a mesh upper at some point. Something a little more breathable for these hot summer months. And the shoe is black, so that's at least the one that I got. So anyway, knit upper, I wish it was a little more breathable, absolutely. But I will say on the rest of the upper, one of the most frankly comfortable tongues of 2020. I mentioned that in the first impression vlog. If you haven't seen it, upper right hand corner. Love the tongue on the TORIN 4.5 Plush, and as well as the collar and the heel counter. Really no complaints about the upper, except for the fact that it was not the most breathable. Pretty nimble through the heel counter there, just so you know. But I didn't feel like I was swimming around in the back of the shoe as far as that heel pocket. I felt pretty locked in once I got the shoe dialed in after, 2 or 3 runs on the roads. Onto that midsole, it's what Altra calls their Quantic midsole material. And I'm just gonna do actually the thumb test right now. Oh yeah, nice and plush, nice and soft. I don't remember if I did this in the first impression vlog. That is awesome. And sure enough, on the ride today through the midsole, or sorry, not today, but over the last 50 miles, absolutely perfect. Like, really comfortable. And I'll get to the overall ride here in a second, but loving the midsole ride, loving the fact that I went with the plush version, just a little extra cushion for those easy days. And yeah, so Quantic midsole, really good work there, Altra. I'm loving the ride. And okay, real quick though, I just realized, let me just think, yeah, more so, I'll just make a little comparison, more so than the Clifton 7, man, I'm gonna say that the 4.5 Plush is a little more responsive, just a little more toe-off action, a little snappier through that foot strike than the Clifton 7. There's so much EVA midsole through this Clifton 7. It's just not very responsive at all, which is fine for an easy day shoe. But as far as a crossover, I will not be using this shoe to pick up paces, the TORIN 4.5 Plush. But if you needed to, I think you could just a little bit, just feeling a little snappier, absolutely, than the Clifton 7. And onto the outsole, the bottom of the shoe, we've got these metatarsal specific shaped rubber pods there that are supposed to mimic your foot and the metatarsal bones in your feet and help with your overall foot mechanics. I'm gonna say I did not feel a benefit, okay? Just putting it out there. Maybe they're helping, maybe they're not. And they also have these inner flex grooves, just again to help with a more natural foot splay through your gait cycle and through your foot strike. I didn't feel them now listen, maybe if I ran a couple 100 miles in this shoe, I would, but anyway, they are there on the outsole. Great grip. I would almost argue though that this outsole could lose a little bit of the rubber. I mean, as far as durability prediction, I'm gonna go with 500 to 600 miles. Like, I'm not seeing any wear and tear on the outsole at all. So that's a good sign. But for me, I would lose a little bit of the rubber there on the outsole of the TORIN 4.5 Plush. For the fit and the comfort, I went true to size, and I'm glad that I did actually. A lot of times for Altra, I have to go a half size down because the shoe, especially the toe boxes, are so wide, but it was okay. So my toes splayed out, meaning they spread out really nicely inside the toe box. So no issues going true to size for me, even though in the past I have gone a half size down. In fact, yeah, you might just want to test out, or maybe make sure wherever you buy the shoe, if you do, that they have a good return policy, because sometimes Altra's known to run very wide all throughout the shoe, but especially through the toe box. And on to comfort, really what else needs to be said? Like a really, I don't think I emphasize this enough, a really comfortable lockdown. We're talking maybe the best of 2020 thus far. Really serious about that. And I'm gonna say plush through the heel counter in a really, really good way. Like, this is an amazing upper, except the breathability through the toe. But I wish this knit upper was just more breathable somehow. And then the comfort of the ride, solid. Now, not as soft, not maybe as soft or pillowy as the Clifton 7, but still enough. And even though it's, 21 and 21, it's still enough midsole cushion to have a really soft ride. It was very enjoyable. Like, there's just no way getting around a very comfortable ride and comfortable upper. For my positive and drawback, positive is the lockdown. I'm going to say the best of 2020 so far. Like, just perfect lockdown. Drawback is that breathability factor, and don't wear this shoe with slick socks. I learned my lesson on the first run and I didn't do it again. Like, I was slipping a little bit inside. That inner sock liner was just slick when I wore my Steigen socks specifically, Steigen. So anyway, keep that in mind. You don't want to be slipping around inside a shoe when you're out there putting miles in. And for that durability prediction, as I already mentioned, I'm actually bumping it up. I was 400 to 500 after the first impression. Full review, I'm going 600 plus. I think this shoe can absolutely go the distance. How will I use the shoe moving forward? 100% easy days. And all right, let's answer it right now. Is this the best easy day shoe thus far in 2020? This is a very, very intriguing question because, well, first of all, the battle is on because this Clifton 7 is really making a run for the money. But I'm gonna say, for easy days, what I like to do, I like to baby the legs, make them feel make the landing as soft as possible. But in addition, I like to try and stretch out my legs. Therefore, I like the zero drop in the Altra TORIN 4.5 plush. So I'm gonna say this is my favorite easy day shoe thus far in 2020 because that zero drop helps stretch out your Achilles, your calf muscle, your that's what it was, your soleus, all those lower leg muscles so much. And the bonus of this extra roomy toe box, it just lets your toes kind of relax a little bit more out there on the easy days. Now, if you don't like zero drop shoes, don't get this shoe. But if you do like zero drop and you're looking for a nice, easy ride, I'm gonna say this is so far my favorite easy day shoe of 2020. Now, runner-up might be the Hoka Clifton 7. It's a tough call, but anyway, so that's where I'm putting this shoe in the rotation for me in 2020. And on to that price point and final score. Price point, $140. Would I buy again? I would, 100%. Now that's high for an easy day shoe for me. Now listen, some people will use this shoe for all their miles. Some people will use this shoe for a long run shoe, and that's fine. I think you could do that. But for me, it's just a little too soft for a long run shoe, or let's say a tempo day shoe, and that's why it's the easy day shoe for me. But $140, I would be willing to pay that again, 100%, and especially since I think this outsole and midsole is gonna go the distance more so than the Clifton 7. Final score, 8.2. 8.2, ring the bell, baby. That's 0.1 better than the Clifton 7. I love the Clifton 7, but I'm gonna give the edge to the Altra TORIN 4.5 plush for my final score on this fine day. Onward and upward, everyone. Thanks for being here. Question of the day. What would be, if you could only choose one shoe for me to review in the next, let's say 2 weeks, what would it be? Because I'll buy it, all right? If there's a consensus down in the comments, like I think a lot, well, I'm not even gonna give any hints, but there's a lot of people tweeting at me and texting me and saying, hey Seth, when will you be testing this shoe? So let me know what should be the next shoe that I test for all of you. here in the studio. All right, everyone, thanks for being here. Onward and upward. Seek beauty, work hard, and love each other. See you tomorrow.